McCain has challenged Obama for a number of town hall meetings, get-togethers. There are those who say that that's not the best forum for Obama. That he does better on the stump. What would you recommend that he buy into the idea of lots of town hall meetings around the country?
Well, I wouldn't recommend that he do a lot of them, but he has a couple of them to have his credibility. You know, he can't be the candidate of teleprompters and microphones. He's got to be able to get out there and talk to folks, everyday people, who can get close to him. You know, sometimes you see him, he's on this podium and there's all these people around him and they can't get close to him and they can hear him. He needs to get in causes like he did in Iowa, which was the beginning of his greatness as far as a candidate. But John McCain's idea of a town hall meeting is a joke. I mean, you think about the one he had here in Minnesota was by invitation only, and his campaign screened the independents. And so that, to me, if you want to call it a town hall meeting, open up the doors, and whoever sits down can ask a question. But I think Barack Obama can turn that into an opportunity, though, because he's a very, very intelligent man, and John McCain has shown a tendency to slip up, whether it's an error between Shiites and Sunnis, whether it's an error between on energy policy. He has shown a tendency to kind of miss, and Barack Obama can manipulate that. Particularly given John McCain's age, I think he can. Right.
And here's what I understand, Art and A.L. You could explain this to me. You know, McCain does fairly decently in the town hall. You could even go to that far to say he does very well. Some of them are maybe a little bit less successful, but generally he does pretty well. Yeah. However, when you contrast him to Barack Obama and his ability to communicate with an audience, it's not clear to me why the Obama campaign doesn't say to McCain, "We'll do a town hall every single day of the week if you want. We will do one in Minnesota. We will do one in Iowa. We'll do one in front of a barn. We'll do one wherever it is that you want." Yeah. Because when you contrast these two candidates, I think you're 100% right. There were times when you saw McCain here in Minnesota, there were times he was not going to go into detail because he was so afraid that if he went a little bit deeper that he would say something and misspeak. And so he kept everything at a fairly high level of generality. When you compare those two candidates, their ability to recall, their ability to understand detail, their ability to communicate with an audience, Obama's not yet Hillary Clinton in terms of her mastery of detail and policy, but he's better on the stump than McCain to be able to bring those issues to bear. So it's not clear to me why the Obama campaign has not taken up the McCain campaign and given America a chance to contrast both of these candidates and to see which ones of them that they prefer.
Do you agree with those who say that McCain doesn't handle the teleprompter as well as Obama does?
Yeah, he can't read a cereal box. I mean, his speech are horrible. The night that Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama were on at the same time, I was glad the media finally cut from McCain. It was painful to watch. The change, that's not change we can believe in. That's change and it completely bombed. But I think you raised a fair point about Barack Obama not wanting to take that. I think that the answer lies in the fact that there's a difference between how you campaign and how you govern. And when you get in these town hall meetings, there's a level of specificity that the question is going to require. That once you give that answer, here comes the new campaign ad. Barack Obama is promising X, Y, Z right down the line, and you can't go. It's difficult to go backwards from there. And so I think he's not afraid of specificity, but specificity is something that you should engage in once you have all of the facts and information. And he doesn't have that as a candidate. Yeah. He has a general direction.
I hate to cut you off. We have about 2 minutes left. And I have 3 questions. I've
all right.
got to get you guys to give me some information. First of all, what difference does the level of violence in Iraq make during the campaign? If it increases, decreases, is it going to make any difference?
Well, right now the economy is issue number 1. In fact, CNN has capitalized on that, right? They have issue number 1, the economy. So for most people, that's going to be the central issue. If, however, the economy improves and levels of violence in Iraq goes down or stays down, then I think the McCain campaign really has its issue back because they are the campaign of foreign policy and of Iraq. And McCain really has a stand on that. He stood on the conducted. He has people trust him. Then it would be a real advantage. That depends on external forces. It depends on what happens with the economy, and it depends on making sure that things in Iraq, which are at least by some standards relatively stable, and if that continues to go down and the economy improves, then I think McCain campaign is going to be better.
Al, let me ask you: is offshore drilling going to do Obama any harm?
I think he ought to be honest and say we ought to tap our resources here in the country. But when Americans are saying, American car manufacturers are saying, hey, it's just Chrysler, we'll cap your gas at $2.99. Honda's not a car that can essentially runoff water. So we got to catch up. Can't always be at the drawing board. We need to be at the manufacturing stage, getting into renewable energies, and high gas prices forces the issue.
Gee, this question. This is the last question we'll have a chance at. Is can a president make a real difference in a 4-year term?
Well, if you ask people 8 years ago, can a president make a real difference? If you have your son or daughter in Iraq, they're going to tell you a president can make a heck of a lot of difference. There's no doubt the president can make a difference, from foreign policy to domestic policy, from the president's bully pulpit. The American presidency is a relatively strong one, and if you have the Congress with you, which if the Democrats win, and for the Republicans, or the Democrats win, there's a probability that they would have the Congress with them.
Gentlemen, we're
Big
out
difference.
of time. We're out of time. But let me ask you this. Will you promise that we can get together and do this again?
Certainly.
Will you?
Of course.
All right. All right. Well, that's it. This week's edition of the Art Cunningham Show. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks to my guests. That's it. Until next time, Twin Cities, try and make yourself necessary in somebody's life. Bye-bye. Hey, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate this. But as much as I can,